Hello, guys. Welcome to the session, and I hope all of you guys are doing good. So let's get started with today's session. Today we are going to talk about Excel, and we'll talk about how we can create the dashboards using Excel. So first of all, let's talk about that. Some of the drawbacks and some of the good things which we have in Excel. So basically, Excel is like a file system. We are using Excel's CSV files, all those things when the data volume is not that much, right? For example, Excel can take around 10 million records. If we are trying to add more, it will not take it. And that will be again, as I mentioned, it's a file system. One of the limitation is that number of records. Second limitation which we have with Excel is obviously data security. By mistake, if I send the file to you, you can easily see that, and that can be a security concerns as well. My data may get corrupt also. Now, why I'm discussing this, because I wanted to highlight that when you are using Excel for the enterprise standpoint, for a bigger data set for big companies, you may not use it as a database. You will be using it for the quick analysis, right? So that is the idea. So file system has limitations, but for quick analysis and small data where I want to go ahead and I want to analyze that, I can very well do that, right? So that is what we do. Now, if you are a startup or if you are trying to run your own work, right? Normally, we are using Excel's Google Sheets for storing our data as well. And why is that so? The reason is obviously our data volume is not that much, and we are okay to store the information in the Excel. But as and when your data will start growing, your business will start growing, you need a data warehouse as well, where file systems will not work, right? You need to have a database like Oracle, MySQL, like PostgreSQL, or so on and so forth. But if you are coming from a smaller companies, startups, or our own work, or a quick analysis, in that Excel is quite extensively used, right? So good amount of companies are using Excel for quick analysis, and obviously startups and small size companies using Excel as well quite extensively. Now, before we get into Excel and try to see what all things can be done using Excel, I will talk about different types of data which we are dealing with, and we'll see that as well in the data file also. So data are of two major types. One is your categorical data, which is also known as qualitative data, which is also known as dimensions. And the second data which we have is a numerical data, which is also known as quantitative data, which is also known as measures, or it is also known as facts. Categorical data is further segregated into three major parts. One is nominal, second is ordinal, and third is Boolean. So basically, nominal is like a pure categories, right? For example, gender. For example, state, departments, and so on. Ordinal is basically where I have certain order. For example, you are giving feedback to this session. It can be poor, it can be average, it can be good, it can be excellent. So it has an order. Poor is lesser than average is lesser than good, and good is lesser than excellent. Which is not in the case. I cannot say that male is lesser than female, right? Or female is lesser than male. I cannot say that, right? So it's a pure category we have, where we have order in this ordinal data. Same a Boolean is your yes or no type of data, or true or false type of data, whether are you graduate or not, right? So those type of information I can store in the Boolean data type. In numerical, we have two categories. One is discrete and second is continuous. Discrete is nothing but a number without decimals. For example, quantity. I want to purchase 10 pens. Right? Continuous is basically with decimals, where we have maybe the sales, right? $150.5 or so on and so forth. So that is the major category, and dates obviously falling sometimes in this, sometimes in this, right? So that depends on what type of dates you are dealing with. So this is the major categories of data which we have, and any random data which you are dealing with, you will be finding the same type of information. For example, here is the data which we will be playing with. So here we have the order ID, which is considered as a nominal data. It's a pure category. One order is one order. I cannot rank it that this order is lesser than that order. I cannot do that. Same way, ship mode, right? Ship mode is basically again a category, which is a nominal category. Customer ID, customer name, all these are nominal. In our data set, all these are nominal only. Plus some of the numerical at the end. Sales, quantity, discount, and profit. Now, when to use what type of charts? So suppose I want to create a dashboard in Excel. So what type of charts can I create, right? So we can analyze different types of data. For example, I want to analyze only the gender column in my data set, right? Only with the gender column, what type of insights I can get. Suppose in my data set, I have a gender, male, female, 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 male, male, female. Only this column is with me. Apart from that, rest of the columns are not with me for analysis. What type of insights I can get? The insights I can get is how many males are there, how many females are there. Basically the count. So here we are analyzing only single categorical data, right? So there is a concept of exploratory data analysis, where there is a concept of univariate analysis, where I'm analyzing single variable. Now this single variable can be your categorical variable, which I just talked about, or it can be a numerical variable. For example, let's say I only have the salary column. I only have a salary column. So from this, I can understand that what is the distribution of the salaries, right? Maybe the distribution is something like this. Few people are at the lower salary, few people are at the higher salary, and few people are at the um, very high salary. So from here, I can get the information that this is the distribution of the salary and this is the frequency, right? Which is helping me understand that what is the range of salaries and where is the majority. So I can say that majority are at this range of salary. So this is also single value, single variable analysis. So univariate, basically one variable. I'm analyzing the categorical only, or I'm analyzing the numerical only. What type of charts I can create? I can create charts for categorical only is something like a bar type of chart where I have the gender at the x-axis and count at the y-axis, right? So that will give me how many males are there and how many females are there. For numerical, I can create something like a histogram or a bell curve, right? Histogram is talking about the distribution of the data. Bell curve is also talking about the distribution of the data. So these are the two popular charts for categorical only and numerical only, where I'm analyzing single variable. Then we are analyzing two variable, bivariate analysis. Now what is bivariate? Where I'm analyzing two variables. Now these two variables can be what? Categorical and categorical, categorical and numerical, numerical and numerical, right? For example, I want to analyze region and gender. Both are categorical feature. What type of information I can get? The information which I can get is how many males are there in the north region, how many females are there in the north region, how many males are there in the south region, how many females are there in the south region, and so on. So I'll be getting the count of gender based on the region. Normally for this, we don't have any particular chart. We create something like a pivot table, right? Or a cross tab table, something like this, where I have the four regions, south, east, west, north, and two genders, female and male. And here I'll have the count, right? So this type of table we normally create for the two categorical features. What about categorical and numerical? For example, let's say I have a region and sales. So region is a categorical feature, sales is a numerical feature. So what type of charts I can create? I can create a bar chart. I can create a pie chart, right? So these are popular charts which we have, donut charts, right? Basically, we are in place of pie creating a donut charts. So these are the charts we normally create. When we have a numerical and numerical, for example, let's say I have the experience, which is in the years, a number, and salary, which is also a number. So whenever we are having two numbers, the only chart which we are preferring is known as scatter plot, right? Wherein the experience is my x-axis, salary is in my y-axis, and it is giving me some relationship between the experience and salary, or the distribution, how the data is distributed. So when there are numerical and numerical, we mostly prefer the scatter plots. Then we have the multivariate analysis. Now, multivariate analysis is nothing but three or more than three variables, right? When I want to analyze three or more than three variables, it can be categorical, 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 or more categoricals because it's three or more than three. It can be categorical, categorical, numerical. It can be categorical, numerical, numerical. It can be numerical, 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 right? So these are the possible, plus more C's because it's three or more than three. But as a human, we analyze maximum 3 to 5 variables because when we are adding more variables, the charts will become more confusing and we may not able to understand clearly what's going on. So we are normally analyzing the three more than three, like around 5 variable maximum, right? So here again, you can create this type of table for CCC, all the categoricals. For C and C and N, you can maybe create a bar chart and you can put both the categories in your x-axis and y-axis will be the numerical. Or you can create a bar chart where you can put the one category in the x-axis, one numerical value in the y-axis, and color in the bar for the category, right? For example, this part is male, this part is female. So we can have the colors as well, right? So that depends on what type of charts you want to create. Categorical, numerical. Mostly we again prefer the scatter plot where I have the numerical here, and in the dots, I'll be putting the colors, right? If you are a female, you are standing here. If you are a male, you are standing here like that. And obviously, when all are numericals, scatter plot is the only option which we prefer, right? So these are the analysis which we do when we get the data to get the insights from the data, and why we need insights to take some quick actions and quick decisions. So now what are we going to do is we have this data set where we have certain fields out here, and we'll try to create 4-5 charts, and we'll quickly create one dashboard using Excel. So for example, let's say ship mode, right? Let's focus on the profit. How much profit are we making? So we are analyzing a profitability dashboard where I'm focusing on the profit. So profit I will take in every chart. I want to know by ship mode, how much profit are we making? By segment, how much profit are we making? By let's say state, how much profit are we making? By region, how much profit are we making? By category, how much profit are we making? And then by subcategory also, how much profit are we making, right? So that is what we will be trying to create. So let's write it down. So I want to understand by ship mode, by segment, by state, by your category, by your subcategory, how much profits are we making. Region is also there, so we'll add region also, and let's add some numbers as well. For example, I want to understand sales and profit. Are we seeing any relationships, right? So we'll have the region as well, region and profit. So all I will be comparing with profit. And then sales and profit also, how the things are. As of now, I'm creating a basic charts, right? Because it's a first session. We are discussing the basic only. So this is a bivariate analysis. This is also bivariate analysis, right? Here, my first variable is a categorical variable and second variable is a numerical variable for all the scenarios. Here, my first variable is a numerical and my second is also a numerical. So here the popular charts which I can have is obviously the bar chart, the pie charts, right? Here I will be having the scatter plot. Apart from that, let's take one more feature called, let's say, how many customers are there in every region and category, right? Let's have that also. One categorical and categorical analysis where I want to know the number of customers by region and category, right? So this will be more of a pivot table or a tabular type of chart, right? So let's start building the charts first. So we'll first create these charts. So let's start with the ship mode and the profit. So how will I do that? So I will be going ahead and clicking on this insert, right? I can directly create a chart from here as well. right? I can choose the column. I can choose the ship mode column and press control profit column, and I can create a bar chart directly. You can see here, I can create a bar chart directly. You can see the chart is coming in, right? But I don't want like this, right? Here you can see that I am getting a lot of entries of standard, 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 multiple times it's coming in. So whenever we are creating a chart where I want to create an aggregated data, right? I want all the second class sum of profit, all the standard class sum of profit. The preferred choice which we have is we go to the insert and first create a pivot table, right? I click on this pivot table and you can see that it is taking the entire range of your Excel in this sheet. You can see that starting from cell A1 and it is going up till cell U9995, right? Do you want to create the pivot table in the same sheet or you want to create the pivot table in the new sheet? So normally again, we prefer to create in the new sheet because already we have a lot of information here. So we click on the new worksheet and click OK. And once we do that, you can see that this is the sheet coming in. And what are we doing? We are just double click it and I'll say I am analyzing the ship mode versus profit, right? So that is what this sheet will be giving me. So what to do? I will be going here. Here you can see that we have the ship mode coming in. I click on that. Below you can see that we are having four spaces, right? One is your filter, second is your column, third is your rows, and fourth is your values. So when I click on the ship mode, by default it will be going in the either in the rows or in the columns. Let's see where it will go, right? So when I click on the ship mode, you can see that it is going in the rows. What happened now? You can see this rows, right? It's going down. So you can see each category is one row. First class is one row, same day is one row, second class is one row, and your standard class is one row. Suppose you don't want it as rows, you want it as columns. So you can just drag this guy here and you can see that it is coming as a column. First class, same day, second class, standard class, and grand total. As of now, I'll keep it like this. Each row is one class. And what are we looking for? I'm looking for the profit. So I'll be going down and choosing the profit column. Profit is a numerical column. And for the numerical column, we normally do the aggregation, summation, average, and all those things. So when I click on this profit, you can see that it is going to come here. Summation sign you can see here. So as it's a numerical column, it will be going in the sum of profit. By default, it is doing sum. You can very well change that aggregation by clicking on this drop down and you can value field setting. You can change either you want the count, you want the average or so on. So here I got the total profit for every this thing, right? Every this ship mode. So we got that. Suppose I want a filter as well, right? So for example, let's say I want to apply a filter on maybe region, right? Let's say I want to apply a filter on region. So first of all, when I click on the region, what will happen? You can see that it is coming here in the row itself. So what happened here is that for the first class, it has broken down into central, east, south, west. For the same day, it is further broken down into central, east, south, west, and so on and so forth. Either you can put it in the filter or let's first put it in the column. Let's see, I'm putting the region in the column. You can see that now you are getting this nice table, which is talking about the this thing, the ship mode out here and the region out here, right? And these are the numbers by every region and ship mode, where you can see that for the same day, south region, I am in loss. My profit is negative, right? But I don't want this as of now. I wanted my region to be act as a filter. So I drag this in the filter And now you can see here, we have an option coming in where I can choose whatever region I'm interested in. And based on that, the numbers are coming in. So this is now central region selected. So these numbers are talking about the central region. For the south region, we were facing the loss. So you can see that for the south region, same day, there is a loss coming in, right? So this way you can apply the filter. If you don't want, you can very well remove the field and it will be get out of the filter, right? So I got this table as of now. The chart is yet not built. Now, once you go in the normal sheet, you can see that, see at the top, right? You have the insert, draw, page layout, formulas, data, review, view, automate, help. But when I'm going to the shift mode, which is a pivot table, you can see two extra options coming in. One is the pivot table analyze, and second is the design. Design is basically nothing but something like if you want to change the color of this, right? For example, I want it as orange color or pink color or some other options are available. You can choose that to make your table more attractive. But the main part is this pivot table analyze. My requirement here is I want to go ahead and I want to play around with this particular option, right? So here you can see pivot chart. I want to create a pivot chart on this data. So I click on this pivot chart and you can see that we are getting multiple options. This is my bar chart. I can see here various options are coming in, right? 3D charts and all those things. You can have a line chart. Obviously, line chart will not be used for this type of data. We are using line chart for the dates type of data. Pie chart is there, bar chart is there. All those options are coming in, right? Let's go to the pie chart format. You can click on, you can check it out, right? What all options are there? How will it look like? For scatter plot, you can see nothing coming in because I told you that scatter plot we are using when there are two numbers. We only have one number as of now here. Map obviously will not come, stock not coming in. So wherever the chart is not coming in, that means that particular chart is not possible to create, right? So here you can see that all these options, many of the options are just not coming in, right? So at the top, the options are coming in and we are going with this pie chart. Click OK. And here you can see that you got this nice pie chart, which is talking about the data here about the this thing, right? Ship mode and the profit. And from this chart, I can clearly see that standard class is having the highest section of my pie where the profit is coming in. So basically, majority of the profits are coming from the standard class. We are providing the VIP service to our customers. That is, we are sending the product on the same day. You can see that it is not profitable at all, right? The smaller section which I am getting is from the same day type of delivery. So we may have to take some actions on that. Maybe I can charge some extra for the same day services, something like that, right? So that is my first chart which we created. Now we'll go back to the sheet. Now what we have to do, we have to again do for all this. Let's go to the segment and profit. Or let's maybe reduce the number of charts, right? A lot of things will be quite repetitive. So let's get into the state and profit. Which state is giving me more profit? So again, I'll be going to the insert, creating a pivot table. On the new worksheet, click OK. You can see a new tab coming in. And we are trying to find out state versus profit. I'll go down here. And here state is what I am choosing. And obviously I need the profit, which I am choosing. So here you can see that we are getting this entire profits by state. Now here you can see that I have this some negative numbers as well. In the pie chart, negative numbers will not be coming good. Plus the number of categories are also very high. When there are 3 or around 5 maximum categories, we prefer to go with pie chart. But when the number of categories are more, in that case, we may not prefer to go with pie chart because it will not look that good. Let's see that. I'll go to the pivot chart and going with the pie chart, and you can see that this is what coming in, right? And it's very difficult for me to understand what's going on. A lot of different colors and things are not very much clear. It's all cluttered. So that's why we do not go with the pie chart when the number of categories are more. So in that case, we will be going ahead and choosing the bar chart, where you can see that the output is coming in. And here you can see the bars which are below, they are negative profit. Bars which are above are the positive profits, right? If you don't like this, you can change it. You can delete this further and you can see what all options are coming in and which is looking good, right? Line chart is not looking good. Pie chart is not. Bar chart, this bar chart we can try, right? Area chart not looking that good. Maybe some other charts, so that you can play around. Okay. So I think I will go with here. You can, this is also looking fine, right? So whichever is negative, it's inside, but you can see a lot of text coming in. So you may not be seeing that clearly. So I may not go with that. So let's go with this type of bar chart where I can see this coming in, right? So that is my second chart, which is talking about this thing, right? States versus profit. Now, same way, let's get into the third one, subcategory and profit. So I'll be going with the subcategory. So I'll again go to the sheet one and insert pivot. Okay. I wanted the subcategory and the profit. Again, I'll be creating the pie chart, chart, and I'll go with maybe the bar chart like this. In the Excel, the number of charts which we have is not that much. So we have to be very much restrictive, right? We have only bar charts and pie charts. In other tools like Power BI, Tableau, we have a lot of options available. But here we have pie and bar. These are some of the major charts which we are using. We can create some custom charts as well. But yeah, the limitations are there. So this is my subcategory versus profit. Let's go and create one more chart. Let's say sales and profit, right? Sales and profit are basically nothing but my two numbers. So I'll be creating one more pivot table. And here I'll be choosing the sales column and the profit column. Both are numbers, right? Let's see what pivot chart coming in. You can see this is like I wanted a scatter plot. You can see it's not coming clearly scatter plot. Why? Because I need one category also, right? So what I'll be doing is I'll be dragging my customer ID like this. So basically for every customer, I am getting the profit and the sales. And now I'll go to pivot chart and scatter plot. Still it's not picking up. Okay, anyways, I'll just check it out. So basically this is one analysis which we are trying to do, where we are just putting the row labels, sum of sales and sum of profit. The next chart which we have is, just give me a second. Okay. So I'll keep this for now. I'll talk about that in some time. So let's proceed further. Now, next chart which we have is region and category. And I wanted to know number of customers. right? So let's do that. This I'll keep it for some time. Profit versus sales. So I wanted a new pivot table where I have the region, I have the category, and I have the customer ID, right? Now this customer ID which I have is also went in the rows. So I want this customer ID to go in the values, count of customer ID, right? And if I click on this value setting, you can see we have option where it is picking the count of customer ID. Okay. So now here I am getting the information that for every region, for every category, how many customers are there. And now we'll go to the pivot chart, and here you can see this type of chart coming in. Pie chart obviously not looking that good. So let's go with this chart, and you can see here what it is talking about. It is talking about for central region, what is the furniture, office supply and technology. For the east region, what is the furniture, office supply and technology, and so on and so forth, right? So that is the chart which we got where I have the two categories coming in. So this is my region category relationship, right? Let me take one more chart, which is the date chart, where I have the date as well. I wanted to know how much profit is happening in every month and year. So I'll be again going in the pivot table, and I have this order date, and I have the profit, right? I have the profit. Here you can see that as of now, year is there, month is there, order date is there, all those options are there. If I remove this, what happens? You can see nothing is happening. If I remove this, what happens? You can see if I click on the plus sign, it's only talking about the quarters, right? Because I have removed the month. Let me undo this. Now I have the order date. If I click on this 17, if I click on the quarter, month is coming in, and if I click on this, days are also coming in, right? So now let's go ahead and let's create a chart where I have this pivot chart coming in. We normally prefer to go with the line chart when there is a date column in the analysis. So here you can see options. Here you can plus means you are going deeper, right? You are drilling down. You are at the day level, right? I can undo by clicking on minus, which is helping me understand about how the trend is over the period of time. So this way we created this chart, which is talking about the profit by date, right? Now, once that is done, we have to create a final dashboard. So I'm creating a new sheet where I have the dashboard coming in, which is your profit analysis. And whatever charts we created till now, right? If I go back, these are the different charts which we created. I wanted to copy all these charts and I wanted to put that in my main sheet, right? Sheet number, this one, profit analysis dashboard. So let me first give the title of this dashboard. Let's say I'm giving this as a merge cell, profitability analysis dashboard. We'll increase the font. Maybe we can change this as some color, right? Let's say I want this color maybe. So I'll have my, let's say, first chart, which is this chart. I'll copy this, Control C, and I'll paste it here, Control V. And I don't need this for now. So I'll just adjust the size here, right? This is my first chart. You can adjust based on how much space you wanted for every chart, right? So I'm just minimizing this screen so that you can see that clearly. So this is my first chart. Same way I'll be adding another chart. So let's go to region and category. Control C. Let's say I wanted to put it here. Control V. So here you can see that my second chart coming in. Then we have the next chart, which is your subcategory and profit. Control C. Control V. Then we have two more charts. So let's add maybe this one, ship mode. Control C and Control V. Right. So let's say this is my dashboard. I'm minimizing this so that you can see all the charts in the same screen only. But this is my dashboard, which is coming in. Now, what I did not put other charts for now because I don't want to clutter a lot of information. So we have to, when we are creating a dashboard, we just make sure that we are not overwhelming that to the end user. Because when we'll put a lot of charts in a single dashboard, it will be very overwhelming for the end user to understand because a lot of information you are asking the end user to process, right? I created multiple charts just to show that these are the charts. This is how we can create the charts, but I am not putting all the charts in this thing, right? Single dashboard. Now here I wanted to show you one more thing. If you go to this pivot table analyze, right? Here you can see that there is an option called insert slicer and insert timeline. Let me click on this insert slicer. Slicer is something like a filter. Let's say I want to apply a filter based on the region. Do we have any chart where region is there? Region is here, right? I don't want region. Let's say I want to filter based on the, let me take some column which is not there in the chart. Maybe, I think state is not there in the chart. I did not put that. This is my, yeah, state is not there. So let's say I want to apply the filter based on the state. So I'll be going to this insert slicer and click on the state, click OK. Here you can see the slicer coming in. Right, you can see I applied this on this chart only. When I am clicking on any particular state, this chart is only showing me the information about that particular data only, that particular chart only, right? So here you can see it's coming in. So this is basically helping me to apply the slicer. If I go and click on this, it will release the filter, clear all the filter, and you can see it's all again showing me. Let's go to the slicer again. Here you can see one option called report connections. I click on that. As of now, this slicer is connected to this particular chart. But I wanted this slicer to be connected with all my charts. That means if I choose any particular state, all the charts should change, right? So I'll be enabling this and click OK. And now when I choose, let's say Arizona, all my charts will change. Let me just clear that and let me undo all this, right? Yeah. Whenever you are clicking on this multi-select, right? So now let me just undo for now, and I am selecting only one, Alabama. Let me click on this multi-select. Now when I am choosing Alabama and maybe California, both the states will be selected because of this multi-select option, right? If I'm choosing some other states, you can see it's all getting selected. And based on that, all my charts are changing, right? It's not that only one chart is changing. Let me minimize that and let me show you. Clear the filter. You can see all my charts are changing. Clicking on South Dakota, you can see all the charts are changing. It is choosing one as of now because I did not select the multi-select. If I choose the multi-select, now I can choose multiple states as well. So this way I can apply the slicers, right? And you can apply on any number of fields, right? As of now, I applied on the states. You can apply on any number of fields. So you can further go and give this a fine look by putting here a merge cell and you can say filters. You can maybe change the color. Right. So this is my first filter coming in. If you go back to your pivot table analyze, there is one more option called insert timeline. We are using timeline for the date fields, right? So here you can see that we have this timeline coming in where if I choose any particular this thing, right, automatically my data will change and only show me the data for the same in this thing, right, for the same dates. Again, in the report connection, you can choose all the charts because as of now only one chart is changing. And now when I choose the information, you can see that all the other, let me just expand this for now. If I'm choosing these many, you can see all the charts are changing, right? So this type of filter on the dates also we can apply. We can choose years. I want all the data for all the years, right? I want the data only for 2020 or 2019 and 20 or only 2018, right? So that is how you can choose the value. Year, quarter, month, days, you can select. So that is your slicer for the date field, which is known as timelines. So this way you can make it interactive dashboard using the Excel, right? Although as I mentioned that we have a chart limitations and obviously the data limitations as well. When the data volume will become bigger, in that case, it may be a bit slower as well. And obviously when the data volume is more than 10 millions, in that case, Excel may not be the good option to store the data and the process the data. So for the quick analysis, for the quick reporting with a smaller data, we prefer to go with Excel as a source and analytical tool. If we are in a small size companies or startups or working for our own company as a startup, then we may use Excel quite extensively. We have some of the co-pilot option also coming in where we can ask certain question, right? For example, what this sheet is talking about. Give me the summary. So here you can see, could you please upload the sheet once I have the file, I can read the content, right? So it's can explain what you need. So let's put some information, right? Although I did not use this Copilot quite extensively, but this option is there where you can chat and you can get the information. So from profit analysis dashboard, what information you can get. Let's see if it is working or not. It's not understanding, right? So that's fine, but you can play around. So you will get the help from Copilot as well. I did not use this quite extensively, but yeah, this option is also available. Okay, so this way we can create the dashboard. This is what I wanted to cover. I wanted to talk about. Any doubts you guys have, let me know. You guys will get the recordings as well, yes, over the email if you guys are not able to see properly. All right, so no response coming in. I hope all of you guys are clear with what we discussed. I'll wait for 2-3 minutes. If no doubts, we'll end the session. If the data will get refreshed,